Most of us don't know the exact mechanics of an engine. We just press down on the pedal and the car moves forward. In programming, we use this same common sense approach to manage complicated systems. We call it abstraction. It's the art of hiding the complex how of a system behind a simple what. There's a difference between keeping something safe and making it easy to use. Think of the metal hood as locking the engine away so it stays protected. But the dashboard, the steering wheel and pedals, gives you a simple way to control that power. This setup allows a team of mechanical experts to spend their time refining a powerful engine, while a different team builds a comfortable dashboard. As long as the pedals work the way they're supposed to, the two teams don't have to worry about every single detail of each other's work. In the early 1990s, the creators of Java were trying to solve a massive logistical headache. They needed a way for code to work on many different types of clunky, rigid hardware without rewriting the instructions for every machine. As software grew from small tools into massive systems with millions of lines of code, it became impossible for any one person to understand the whole thing. The how became too big for any human brain to hold at once. Abstraction solved this by allowing developers to work in smaller, manageable sections. It turned a mountain of overwhelming code into a series of simple, connected controls. Java gives us two main tools to do this. The first is called an abstract class. Think of it as a partially finished blueprint. It provides a solid foundation, like the frame of a car, but leaves a few specific blanks for you to fill in later. The blueprint might include finished parts, like the steering system, but it also has a requirement that says you must provide an engine. Whether the person finishing the car plugs in a specific engine for a race car or a van, they're still following the rules of that original blueprint. The rule here is that you can't buy a generic vehicle. You have to buy a specific model. In Java, you can't create an object directly from an abstract class. You have to use it as a starting point to build something more specific. This ensures that every car built from that blueprint follows the same family plan. It guarantees that even if the cars look different on the outside, they all share the same reliable core identity. The second tool is called an interface. If the blueprint is about family identity, the interface is a simple contract. It dictates a requirement without giving any instructions on how to actually do it. Imagine a store's checkout system with a contract that says process payment. A credit card, a digital wallet on a phone, and a bank transfer are all very different things, but they can all sign that same contract to get the job done. It's a helpful way to think about the difference. A blueprint defines what an object is, while an interface defines what an object can do. This makes the system incredibly flexible. You could completely replace the bank's internal processing software with a newer version, and as long as it still signs that payment contract, the store's checkout screen won't even notice the difference. You can see these rules at work in the chip on your bank card. When you pay for groceries, the card reader doesn't need to know how your bank's internal software works or how its database is organized. The reader simply follows the interface. It asks a specific question, and the chip provides a specific answer. This keeps the interaction tidy and predictable, because the card reader only ever sees the information it's authorized to ask for. Now, a word of caution. It is possible to use too much abstraction. If you hide every simple action behind a dozen blueprints, you end up with a tangled mess, like a ball of yarn that's impossible to unravel. Programmers call this spaghetti code. However, learning when and how to use these tools is a necessary skill. Most modern software is built by connecting many small, independent pieces that communicate through these simple contracts. Mastering abstraction is a major step in a programmer's journey. It's the point where you move from just writing a list of commands to thinking about how different parts of a large machine fit together.